We are going to start doing some videos for the Black Hole of Real Estate, and I think this is going to help us with our YouTube presence, make it a little more accessible for all of you to hear the podcast, but also to see who's behind the scenes that's doing the talking right now. So this is your host Ron Wojciechowski for the Black Hole of Real Estate, and this week I want to talk about for sale by owner properties. You see that there are a lot of people that can actually be successful in when they're doing this. The statistics will tell you that somewhere between 12 and 14.5% of the people will be successful when selling it on their own. And for them, it accomplishes their goal of saving a commission, being really hands-on. And if they feel they could do it themselves and are prideful about that, and maybe they are the best person to show the home and sell it, well, that accomplishes their goal. And along the way, perhaps there's a little bit of a perceived deal for the buyer as well because there's no commissions involved, at least from the listing side. Maybe there is on the other side, but we'll get deeper in that today. I also want to let you know that the rest of the people, the other 85% or so, they eventually end up hiring an agent. And when you look at what has taken place historically, there is a lot of good information that tells us that sellers will actually net more money most times when they use the services of an agent. So we're going to talk about this today and break it down for you in such a way that it would make sense for both sides and let you choose which is the right strategy for you. Now, the advantages of selling on your own are super clear. You get to do the pictures, you get to control the marketing, you get to control the showing times. You are the lead dog on every bit of this. You take your pictures, you put them online. You could use one of those um, companies that will put you on the MLS for about, I don't know, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks. And then they're limited service, then they just disappear and your name goes on there. And then you could potentially syndicate and you can also upload it to your favorite portal. So you have a lot of control when doing that. You get to talk directly to the buyer and our lender. So that way, if you're unsure about how things are going, you can take care of that. And you can also make sure that all the contracts and all the documents and disclosures are all in place for, whatever compliance that you choose to use on this. And then the last thing is, and this is the big one, you get to save on the commission. And for a lot of people, that's a big chunk of change they would rather not part with, and they're willing to do the work to make it happen. And again, we've seen 12 to 14% historically be successful doing this. And for those, it really works out. And if you feel like you have the opportunity to do that, I'd strongly encourage you to go down that path for all the reasons we just mentioned. Now, what's the other side of the coin? And why do some people choose to hire an agent or do what happens a lot? Let's just say that of the people that want to sell on their own, if there was 100 of them, let's say that 15, we'll figure high, 15 were able to do it. What did the other 85 do? Um, some will linger in perpetuity and be on the market forever. That's a solution for them. Some will hire a different agent and decide that they don't want to be the realtor anymore, and that's okay. And there's others that just take it off the market and feel that, well, it didn't sell, so I'm just going to just not sell it anymore. And those are your three options. So we'll take the last one, the easy one first. If it didn't sell, I would ask you, there's only three or four things that are really going to matter when you sell a property. And the first one's location. So if you got the best house in the best neighborhood on the best lot in the best location, like every homeowner thinks they do, then yes, absolutely you have the best location. So no problem there. And then condition. That's 100% in control of the seller. So if everything is letter perfect and beautiful and clean and updated, then you got condition nailed. If you bought the best countertop that money can buy 34 years ago, it still might be in perfect condition, but it may not be in the style that people are looking for today. So conditional can be subjective, and that can be a difference between how the owner feels about it and how the buyer also perceives it with regards to cost and value. So if we've got the location nailed down and we've definitely got the condition nailed down, well, then there's marketing. And who better to market the property than the owner? Because they can tell you every single room in the house, the whole history of it, what color paint chip was used and what date it was, the whole living, breathing history. And they absolutely can point out every curtain and doorknob and cabinet door that goes along with it. And hey, here's a spacious closet. So they can do all that marketing too as they walk around the house and tour with the people. And if you've got those three things nailed down, because now we got location, condition, and marketing. What's the last thing? What's price? And if you know the value of your house because it's the most unique and best house in your neighborhood or for anywhere around, and it gets a premium value because you said so, that's great. We call that PFA pricing. It's called plucked from the air. Now, if you're using portals to support that value, hey, if this particular portal says it's worth 300, but I know what I got into it, it's worth 400. Of course it is, because you said so. It's plucked from the air. And then you just have to get in that tug of war with the buyer and make sure they also understand your point. And you can certainly drive it home, drive it home, drive it home until they understand it and then pay your price because that's what you need for it. So there you have it. That's a simple way that the 85% of the people that don't sell attack this problem. They've got location nailed. They got condition absolutely on lockdown. They got the best possible marketing because they know the house better than anybody else and they can justify any price. Okay, so that doesn't work sometimes because they're in the 85% that didn't sell. And those might be some of the comical reasons why maybe it didn't happen. But if we know that some are just going to give up and say, listen, I put it out there, I don't have to sell, I don't need to sell, and it didn't sell, then they'll just go back and say, okay, I'll just keep it. And they don't have to sell. And that's okay. So now we've taken care of a few of the people that went for sale by owner route. Now, what do most people that went for sale by owner route do? They hire a real estate professional because they realize a couple of things. And the first would be that maybe they're better at their day job than the real estate job. Or maybe they've got a license that they've used once or twice in 10 years and realize that, things might have changed from when they got the license. They might lack the expertise or the paperwork or the documentation. They might not have the marketing system in place to get the property sold. Or they may simply not understand the language of sales piece and the salesmanship that people have used that are time tested with proven results in the industry. And those things are going to matter at some point. The consumer is highly educated because of all the videos out there and the things that you can read about and talk about. The internet has changed the game forever and for many, many years right now. That has been the differentiation piece. If you can get to the marketing and get to the channels and have those reviews that get people attracted to what you are selling as an agent, that's what's going to get top dollar for properties. And your sales acumen is going to make sure that those deals stay together and survive the inspection period. Now, a couple things. If I was selling by owner and I was just going to give you some information so that you could attempt to be the 14 or 15% that are going to be successful and selling on their own, the first thing I would say is where's the pricing coming from? Is there a justification? A appraiser may or may not get you the right value. I assure you, if you sent three appraisers to your house, it didn't tell them anything about it, they come back with three different numbers. So that's an opinion of value. That's what an appraisal is. And your appraisal from 3 years ago is no good. And what your buddy's house sold for down the street is no good because they may not be the same square footage and bedrooms and bathrooms and layout and condition and features. That could all be different. And whatever it says online that your home value is, it's probably not wrong. It's an algorithm comparing 3 bedroom, 2 bath, this many square foot in this neighborhood, but it doesn't know if you got granite countertops or quartz countertops or 28-year-old Formica. It doesn't know if your AC is brand new or 32 years old. It certainly doesn't know anything about your roof, whether it's been flooded, maybe there's mold in the property, or maybe it's just perfect. See, the computer algorithm has never been in your house. It has no way of knowing. So we need to find a price that makes sense to you as the seller, but also is attractive and makes sense to the buyers. That's what it takes to get property sold, especially in a market like we are in today. Location, you can't change it, but you can certainly make sure that you are demonstrating to the people exactly what it is that when they get there, they'll like it. So if you're hiding the fact that you got a railroad track in your backyard or high tension lines, or that you back up to a swamp or like a dump, they'll know when they get there. Arriving at a property these days is confirming what you've already seen online. It's also a little bit more transparent right now. I believe what you see is what you get. So if you see it online and it looks great and it's confirmed, you're making offers. If you get there and it's nothing like what you thought it was going to be online, they're doing a little pirouette and they're out the door. So location, let's make sure that we not only know what it is, but really can accentuate what are the positive features for it so they arrive finding exactly what they thought they were going to be looking at. Condition, it's up to you. Hire a professional house cleaner or get out the scrub brush, but bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, neat and clean. Not that, well, I was getting to that, or the dirty garage, or the smelly house, or the cat litter box is full. Those things make a difference when a buyer walks in. So if you can smell pet odors before you even open up the front door, that's not cool with most buyers, even if they have pets. So I'd look into that. Anything that you can do with the condition and curb appeal is going to either cost you money or make you money when it comes to writing offers and sealing contracts. And then the last thing, the marketing piece. If you're really good at video and really good at photography, then by all means do it yourself. You may want to hire an outside firm to do the photos and get the drone out there to do the aerials. And then as far as the syndication, do you have a way to get the information out there? And that's why some people end up choosing one of those MLS companies that just put you on there, but then it's your photos and it's all your stuff out there. So if it's terrible cell phone photos, if it's blurry photos or not properly cropped photos, that's going to cost you. Because when people look online, they are going to make a decision really fast if they're going to look at it or not. You get about two or three pictures. So if you're wandering through the house and you've shown them a closet and a doorway and a garage, I might suggest that you have a really good front elevation, maybe with an aerial shot. That would be great. I would hit the kitchen. I would hit the master bedroom. If you got a pool or something remarkable in the backyard, those first three or four photos are going to be the ones that you want to get out there first, even if it feels uncomfortable that you're not walking them through the house. You can use a video for that. But if they don't like the first two or three photos, they're never going to see photo 78 when you finally get around to showing them what the house looks like. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you some things that you would want to be able to do if you're selling it on your own. Now, on the other side, people that are selling on their own, there's this other piece of like, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. That could be for a number of reasons. Maybe they didn't want to spend the money on professional photos or professional cleaners. An agent's still going to tell them to do that, but maybe they're tired of hearing the feedback. Your house is dirty. It's dated. I don't like the layout. Who came up with this design? And if you're going to be there while they're looking at the property, one of two things is going to happen. The buyer is going to make comments that you're not going to like, and you're going to get defensive and try to, oh, but rationalize. Here it comes. You don't like the three different floors in here, but each time we did it, it was cost effective to just do it this way. And we love it. Yeah, the buyer really doesn't care. They don't like it. They've told you that. But now you become sensitive to their comments while you're there, or worse, they don't make any comments while they're there. And then at the end, they say, hey, what do you think? You want to buy it? Like, we just started looking, or we're going to think about it. We'll get back to you. That's all code for you followed us around the house. We're uncomfortable. We don't like it. We're not sure how to leave. So we want to be polite and just tell you, we're going to think about it. We'll get back to you. And when they never get back to you, it's because they didn't like it. They didn't have the freedom to look. And maybe you hovered over them. Maybe it's none of those things, but I bet it's one of them. I really do. Getting lowball offers from investors. Listen, investors want a deal, same as you. So if your house is up for 300, expect somebody to offer like 100 or 150. And they don't care if you get mad about it. If they can buy it at that price and it makes sense to them, great. If it doesn't make sense to you, you have to reject that. And after 10 or 15 of those, and walking investors through the house and buyers through the house, and you've had 15 or 20 people that call you up only to find out that they didn't show up for the appointment, or they loved the house, but now they don't have the money, or they got to cash out something, or they're waiting on an injury settlement, or maybe we're just looking. At some point, most for sale by owner people just get annoyed and they just pack it and say, this is not for me. And it's just a bad market. Well, it could be a bad situation for somebody selling by their own that just doesn't want to deal with that or doesn't have the expertise or the experience to deal with that. So these are the reasons for sale by owners can or cannot work. And I leave it for you to decide. Are you feeling lucky? Are you one of the 15% that can do it on your own and save the commission? I would highly recommend you do that. Or even test it out on your own to take away the lingering doubt that maybe you could do it on your own. And after that point, if it's no good, take it off the market and just keep the house, or do what most people do, hire a pro. I hope this helped you out on how the for sale by owner market is working today and some ways that you can approach it and maybe work with it or work around it. This is your host, Ron Wysockarski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.